Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Wednesday, April 16th. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today is Bishop Robert Griffin and Reverend Kevin Tisdall. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about our progressive faith community and how you can be a part of it no matter where you live in the world. Watch our streaming programs, ask for prayer, make donations, and follow us on social media. We'd love to have you as part of our community, regardless of your location. And if you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world. In 2025, we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots Magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight, with nearly 10,000 stories and 10 million views in 2024. We will produce the 25th anniversary of Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th, Pride Fete Diversity Pride in August, and Pride Fort Lauderdale next February. We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. If you enjoyed the Queer God Squad, please share this or other episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. Grants focused on LGBTQ health canceled by the Trump administration. Grant cancellations hit researchers focused on the health of gay, lesbian, and transgender people in mid-March as the Trump administration targets what it describes as ideologically driven science. Most grants were in some way related to sexual minorities, including research focused on HIV prevention. Other canceled studies centered on cancer, youth suicide, and bone health. Health and Human Services spokesperson Andrew Nixon said HHS is, quote, dedicated to restoring our agencies to their tradition of upholding gold standard evidence-based science, end quote. One canceled project at Vanderbilt University had been following the overall health of more than 1,200 LGBTQ people, aged 50 and older. Most of the money was spent from the grant, but it was up for renewal in April. Still, the Vanderbilt project generated 24 published papers, including work used to train doctors to provide better care to LGBTQ people, improving preventive care which saves money and lives. Insights from minority populations can increase benefit for everyone. The war on woke, like any war, is bound to cost human lives. Everybody laughed when we started talking about Project 2025 and what its devastating effects would be on almost every single American. Not just the ones who are being targeted, because we keep telling you at this table that they're only starting with marginalized groups on the edge, because it's much, much easier, because not a lot of people understand what's going on. They don't see it as a threat to them yet. When you start trying to erase people, and that's what this is doing, in my opinion, it's trying to erase the existence of people, and really now it's threatening queer people with devastation. Your health care doesn't matter to the government. The government is telling you that you don't really exist, and gosh, we're going to do as much as we can to make sure that you don't exist, because if you're over 50, we don't want to know about your troubles, because your troubles are not important, because you're going to be dead soon and we don't have to worry about you. At this table, we will always advocate for those on the margins, because we know that those on the margins are those who are most susceptible to being hurt by any negative governmental activity. This is just another one of what this administration is doing. And I just saw this morning, 10,000 Health and Human Services employees were terminated. Some of them didn't find out until they got to work and tried to swipe to get in that they were fired. This is what this government is doing. So if you think it's going to stop with the queer community, you're wrong. You're next.
Yeah, I mean, because You know, when it was the trans people, well, you know, that's 1%. You understand that 1% is over 3 million people. It's a lot of people. 1% of this country. It's a big country. And then, you know, the gays, you know, whatever, those crazy gays, they'll just go to a tea party or whatever, and they'll get over it. And the women back in 22, the Roe got overturned. Whatever, you know, women should know their place anyway. And then the immigrants. Well, we had too many of them anyway. You know. And then people of color. Well, they were getting a little uppity anyway. They were getting a little full of themselves anyhow. But then the poor people. Well, the poor people have always been a problem. And on and on and on. And then almost day one, farmers are like, "What the fuck?"
Yes, Lord.
And then teachers are like, "What?" And then people who are dependent on Social Security are like, wait a minute. Am I going to be all right in the coming months? And then government workers, people who work for the government found out, yeah, not only do you not have any job, but then the stuff that helps people without jobs are getting snatched too. So yeah, when it was just those silly queers, and just those strange trans, and just those troublesome immigrants, and just those, you know, lazy poor people, that's where they start. By dehumanizing and belittling and demonizing and marginalizing and erasing and silencing them, that's where they start. And when they get away with it, that tells them, we can get away with more of this.
Yes.
And now a lot of people are screwed. And a lot of people are saying, well, I wish I had voted differently, or I wish I had voted at all. Well, we begged. And for once ever, they didn't even hide it. They published a 900-page document telling you exactly, and they have stuck to the plan. I'm sorry that it was too much for you to read. People even were giving like Reader's Digest and Cliff Note versions of it.
Yep.
Really just whittling it down so you could steal too much about it. Because you thought it was them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But there's no them to a tyrant. In fact, even a tyrant's allies become enemies at some point, because if there's any resistance, if there's any disagreement, they got to go. And then if they're super loyal, and they start getting attention and praise, and they become, you know, sort of a celebrity in their own right in the movement, well, then still they got to go. Nobody's safe in a tyrannical system. Okay. We wish it had gone differently. We wish it was better. We wish people were smarter. We wish people were paying attention. We wish people had more empathy and compassion and cared about that. It shouldn't have to affect you for you to care about it. You know, we wish.
Right.
Lesson learned. So now what? Well, now you know, that's where we are, is trying to resist, trying to make changes, trying to use legal avenues, trying to use our voices, trying to use our money, trying to use our time, trying to use everything we can to turn things around. And one thing that I want to turn around is this idea that there's any such thing as ideological science. What a ridiculously stupid thing to say. Science, the word means knowledge. The word means knowledge. So with science, you have a hypothesis. And then you try to disprove your own hypothesis.
Yes.
And if you can't disprove it, it becomes a theory. And you publish your theory, and then everyone else in your field gets to test it also to see if they come up with the same results. And if they do, then they'll agree with you. And that's called peer review science. There's no ideology. You start with trying to disprove your own idea. That's the first step. Oh my God, I can't stand it. There's not any such thing as ideological science. What they're doing is using their ideology to try to silence science.
Yay.
Because science finds what it finds. And if it finds something new, it has to change what it's saying about it, because science doesn't have ideology. Science has no investment in something being any kind of way, which is why they keep looking into the stars, and they keep digging into the ground, and they keep getting samples of water, and they keep doing surveys, and they keep, because there's not any ideology. There is the forever question and the new and new and new discoveries, because you keep asking the question. That's what science is. And only someone who's so ridiculously stupid that they don't even know what science is, would say, we're going to go back to the gold standard and blah, 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 blah. I can't stand it.
How do you really feel? I'm not really picking up on that.
Is that get today's?
So, yeah. Evidence-based science will come up with new and new discoveries, and some of them will blow your mind and challenge your assumptions, and that's what it's meant to do. So, yeah. Your kids aren't being indoctrinated by science. They're being liberated from indoctrination, and that's what pisses you off.
You know, these grants are focused on LGBTQ health, but let's not forget the ones that in cancer research that has already been removed. And now this is yet just another targeted group by this mob boss who thinks he's a mob boss and is acting like a mob boss and just cutting things willy-nilly through the efforts of other people, thinking it's not going to come back on him. Well, he's in the chair. He needs to be held accountable for every last one of these infractions, in addition to the felony charges that he already has with him.
34 convictions.
And I'm just not under the thought process that every death that occurs as a result of these types of actions, he needs to be held accountable.
Yes.
And if you didn't think it was going to happen, shame on you, because it was stated earlier. You read the blueprint. You had it in your hand. When I first heard about Project 2025 that Reverend Kevin mentioned, it was like early 2024.
Yes.
And I thought, what the hell is that? And then when you do a little bit of research, they told you exactly what they were going to do, although he did not know anything about it, but yet he's all up in it. But here we are. What do? We fight back. We raise our voices. We come together as a community. We unite. We support each other. And we still call this crap out for what it is. Yeah. It is bullshit.
Yes.
And they must be held accountable.
Health is a human right. If there's a way to test for something, prevent something, treat something, cure something, then we all should have access to it. So these things that are intentionally meant to hinder healthcare or hinder healthcare research or hurt people who are most likely to be affected by this, that, or the other disease, that is evil. That is evil. That is, if it goes unchecked, could actually become genocidal. And so this isn't good. And I don't care if you think you're going to get some kind of tax break or if you think your business is going to do better or that. At some point, humanity has to matter. So at some point, the water we drink, the air we breathe, and the medicine that's available, and one another's safety, that has to matter if we're going to call ourselves human. Mm-hmm. Or so I think. That's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, we want to invite you to join Sunshine Cathedral on a wonderful trip experience and help our mission for our community. Join us on the Florida AIDS Walk Pride Cruise. This unique 3-day cruise will sail from Miami on the $1 billion and ultra-deluxe 170,000-ton MSC Seascape on November 2nd, 2025. The cruise is for the Florida AIDS Walk. Your participation helps 13 vital beneficiaries in our community. The cruise is an incredible value starting at just $199 and is also a fundraiser for the Sunshine Cathedral. Parties, special events, and more aboard, including a special unlimited beverage and open bar with Wi-Fi for all 3 days for just $68. We invite you to join us on this amazing cruise for fun, this vital cruise for good.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that we are all in this together.
Also remember that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.